Let's start. And nice to see everyone. I'll share some slides. It's always nice to remember the two approaches to the use of the mind. The one where we are focused on the descriptions of our thoughts and emotions and sensations, all of these data, focusing on the stories, on the labels, and you can see that that could be diving into the road of darkness. Although the woods are sometimes really nice. But anyway, the metaphor is always limited. But it means either we emphasize our data or we rest in the nature of mind, open intelligence, the openness. So we have that choice in every moment, really, to remember that choice. And letting, if we then emphasize the description of the data, it is empowered to take over all our energy and attention. So it's really powerful to look at that in our own direct experience. See where, if I have data come up, emotions and thoughts, what happens when I just look at them, emphasize them, analyze them, try to even get rid of it or indulge in them. So how that takes over our attention and also our energy. And if we allow data to flow on by, beneficial energy opens up, vast and powerful. Even if it's like just one short moment, recognizing that openness, the vast and powerful, we can recognize spaciousness, or just a moment of relief, really. So, and then repeating those short moments many times, whenever we remember to do so, obviously, there's a confidence that comes about. It becomes stable in itself. It's like a training up. Rinpoche yesterday said, training up a bicep. It's like really training up a muscle. And we have to put some work into it, and it seems effortful initially, but with the recognition of open intelligence, it's not like then if you forget for a long period of time, you have to build it up all again. It's actually, it just simply remains instinctive and open. Reminders are always helpful, but it's like once it's training up in open intelligence, more confidence, there's a real stability in itself. And any act of forcing the recognition of open intelligence is unnecessary because we get into data about open intelligence and about instinctive recognition, what we think it is, and that can feel, contrived. We allow the natural ease of open intelligence to gradually permeate all our daily activities. We rely on open intelligence at all times, whether walking, moving around, lying down, working, playing, or sitting. So the natural ease of open intelligence is powerful, that it's accessible in any moment, no matter what we are doing. We are sitting right here now, listening and having some thoughts and maybe some emotions, some memories, future thoughts, worries, and just allowing the short moment for open intelligence, the natural ease of open intelligence to permeate everything that we are doing and all the thoughts and emotions, sensations we might feel in our body. So this is true open intelligence, the stability of open intelligence that pervades ordinary life. So we're not finding it only in meditation or when we are quiet or only here in this meeting. It's like, it might be more obvious here when we hear about it, which is natural, and especially in the beginnings. But it's everywhere equally. It's always accessible. and also something that is ultimately reliable, really.
The very important point to make about afflictive states is for us to not reject what is appearing. To not reject afflictive states means that when they come up, we rely on open intelligence rather than acting on them or wanting them to go away. Yeah, you might have seen my share there in the newsletter this week as well about anger in that particular case as a particular afflictive state.
Ja,
And
precies. Precies. Oké. Nou,
and I think Katibi maybe did the same thing. Let's see. Okay. So going back to the anger, or any other afflictive state, like typically, or at least in my experience, we have chosen all kinds of practices to somehow manage afflictive states, and from an ingrained belief that often isn't even questioned. It just is considered like obvious and normal that there is something wrong with afflictive states. And in open intelligence practice, we recognize that in their essence, afflictive states are no different than any other state. They feel very different. The energy in our body feels very different. The energy in our mind feels different. But in their essence, nature, they're all equal and even, like these ripples here in the water. So with the practice of short moments, we're not trying to do anything with them. We just rest evenly and equally with whatever arises. Here is where the instruction to allow everything to be as it is very powerful. When we feel very angry, hateful, or resentful, we let it be as it is. The reactivity of anger and hatred grow less and less, like mist evaporating in sunlight, one water particle at a time. Yeah, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, as Rinpoche often said. And the turning point there also is to recognize that in the arising of, in this case, anger, hate, resentment, whatever it might be, there is this choice that we often speak about here. We can either dive into the story or try to change what appears, or we can relax mind and body completely in and as their natural state. So in that way, these afflictive states, the negative states, become actually really powerful opportunities. They all become reminders of practice. So instead of there being something wrong for experiencing them or wondering, why do I experience this again? Or why have I not yet become, I don't know, enlightened enough? And I still get, I still experience anger or any of these other states. Just noticing exactly this and relaxing and recognizing that all of this is just more appearances in open intelligence, and there has nothing been wrong in the first place about any of the energies that arise. It's very powerful and very very confirming. By relying on resting body and mind rather than engaging in the stories of anger, we begin to feel more and more compassion until we feel compassion all the time. Rather than acting on anger or frustration, when they come up, we empower ourselves with open intelligence, and loving kindness appears from within them. Our mind becomes totally clear and relaxed, and everything we see becomes luminous and radiant. When disturbing states are left unrejected, they dissolve back into themselves, and appearing from within these states is a balanced view that produces insight about how to skillfully handle all situations. This paragraph says it all, really, and all that's left to do really is to practice. We can't wrap our head around it, and we don't have to. We don't have to understand this or how it works or why it works. The only way to really harness the power and the totally beautiful demonstrations that are mentioned here is in our direct experience. And we can notice that even though here it speaks from like the full outshining, essentially, it's already obvious from the first time we practice that there is a softening, a soothing energy when we stop the struggle and stop the fight and relax, allow ourselves to relax completely.
When we rely on open intelligence for short moments, repeated many times, all these states dissolve into themselves, and what appears from within them is bliss, compassion, loving kindness, lucidity, and a balanced view. That's the true meaning of non-duality. Bliss, compassion, loving kindness, clarity, and a balanced view are the fundamental condition of afflictive states. Yeah, just like a shared, it's nothing we can really think about or try to experience. And also trying to get into states like bliss, compassion, and loving kindness, clarity can also be like an effortful way, just effortful. And so that's not the point of the practice, trying to feel these kinds of things. I have experiences of them, but they naturally arise. And by this taking short moments, by practicing using the four mainstays, basically we rely on open intelligence and allow for these aspects of open intelligence to open up with the power of allowing these kinds of afflictive states, which have a lot of energy, like anger and hatred and irritation or sadness. When we look at it, there's a lot of energy in our body, everything that we feel and think with these kinds of afflictive states, allowing them to be as they are isn't always easy, but that's why there's more support than just the short moments. It's like one of the mainstays. Having all four of them like present right here in a meetup like this can support even allowing those kinds of afflictive states be as they are, as open intelligence is energy. So we rest in the energy as it is. And short moments, it's more the quantity rather than the quality of them. We don't need to look how is the short moment good? Is it long or short enough? Is it right? Because initially there can be and is a lot of doubt around, is it really a short moment or what is it all about? So I remember that for myself a long time. Or a long time that it would appear as not thoughts, right? Basically. But then after time there's more confidence and the direct experience that really supports the confidence. Yeah. So compassion, really, I never understood how to feel compassion. Does it has to feel a certain way? And just with the practice, it naturally arising, openness, compassion, not as something, but really just naturally open. So we're not caught up in our irritation, anger, thoughts and emotions. And then that's just one road we are going down. That road into the woods, basically. We sense and feel the impact of data that are acted upon when we find that due to the power of open intelligence, we are relieved of the impulse to act in harmful ways. So that's empowerment one. Well, and then the continuation of the empowerments, obviously, but empowerment one really shows how does data affect our actions, our speech, our life, really our well-being. and how it influences relationships, the relationship with ourselves, and how we act upon data, we react towards each other, or just react towards our own data. So that gets obvious in Empowerment 1 and deepens through Empowerment 4 to 9, obviously. Once there's more and more foundation that we can rely ultimately on open intelligence, that instinctive recognition becomes more obvious throughout also difficult states. Like it says, it is powerful to identify and rely on open intelligence amidst the current expression of data, stubborn data especially. Yeah, they're just data that we have trained ourselves to emphasize, feel, and feel like uncomfortable with and or challenged by. So with open intelligence, there's a perfect pace of open intelligence shows us that the flow of data, whatever it may be, is naturally potent. So less and less there's this wanting to get rid of them because they feel threatening. So we learn to trust the power of open intelligence, and there's a fearlessness in that. Not being afraid of ourselves and others' data streams, afflictions, anxieties. We're not afraid of ourselves anymore. And then also not afraid of other people's data streams as well. So there's a peacefulness and openness and a trust in one's own stability and flow of data. Yeah, open intelligence is the power to know. Yeah, it's the power to know. Open intelligence, open. When we stop thinking for a moment, there's an openness, spaciousness, and the power to know. And obviously, we're not stopping thinking. It's not a practice, really. But it brings a moment of clarity. And that is present with thoughts. So all our thoughts and emotions are the dynamic energy of open intelligence, of this intelligence. They're the energy of this intelligence. They're inseparable, like the color blue in the sky, like the breeze in the air. They're inseparable, and data appear and vanish naturally within open intelligence, like the flight path of a bird in the sky. Vanishes naturally, it's leaving no trace. Thoughts, we maybe don't even remember what we were just thinking half an hour ago. Feeling and all these kinds of sensations come and go forever in a flow. And open intelligence empowers the natural potency we have to be of benefit to all. And that's where it becomes very powerful, because we see we have a power and potency and energy, the dynamic energy that is useful. We can use it rather than try to get rid of it. It is a potency we get used to, being the energy of something about us that is actually naturally stable and can respond to situations rather than needing to manage or protect. So it naturally is potent. And that comes about again with short moments, just coming back to the basics, to the simplicity of this, is that we don't need to try to feel potent, feel compassion. It's too complicated to try to feel that or look for the results. It's just like, that's why I loved it always, just to take short moments, obviously to hear the teachings and have the support, but let it open and reveal itself naturally. Okay, I'll read this one as well. When short moments of open intelligence are repeated many times, the recognition of open intelligence becomes automatic and uninterrupted. It becomes really then stable in itself, naturally obvious. Yeah, it's found to be stable in itself, and by the power of open intelligence, we are not distracted by trying to control the flow of data, which is a natural habit. And so that lessens. It's just lessens. It's like switching off a fan that spins very crazily. And then we switch it off and it still spins around until it just stops. So yes, so that's we'll pause here maybe for this at this point, so we can have shares and questions. But good, thank you all. Let's see, any questions today or any shares how it's going for you?
I wanted to say something.
Mhm.
First of all, that was just, do you call it a newsletter when you write that and when you send it to us?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So in it, it says negative data streams indicate open intelligence presence, not its absence. When I read that, wow, because it's such an urge to, I forgot to maybe see things differently or whatever. But it's open intelligence. What I've gleaned after all these months is that it's always there, no matter what's going on. So the choice to interpret, so to speak, interpret what's going on, it's ridiculous. It's because it's always there. Open intelligence is always there. So I
Yes.
had another maybe observation or question.
Yeah.
Every day I do shavasana, yoga pose. It's very nice just laying there like that. And what I found is that oftentimes I will that's one thing. I think Candace mentioned this, but I don't remember when it was. It was on one of the videos. That when you're doing other, and correct me if I'm mistaken with this, when you're doing other kind of practices of that nature, because I just lay there, with that, or yoga. Is it, I think she mentioned something about continue to do open intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got that these other things that you're doing, just like washing the dishes or whatever you're doing, don't have to predominate anything. They're just another aspect of how you're living. And so I will use like flawless awareness will come into my mind, or naked awareness, or and open intelligence. So I guess the question was, at some point it was decided to use open intelligence. I don't know why. I mean, it's not my business why, but it works. But I do find myself sometimes, because when I first began with this teaching, I used flawless awareness often. It came up. I think that was before I was aware of open intelligence. I'm not sure. So
yes.
Is that simply open intelligence is another way of expressing awareness, as is flawless awareness, timeless awareness, naked awareness? Are they all basically the same thing?
They're all basically the same thing, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the change to open intelligence, well, it is usually goes with the time as well. And also with all the ideas we might have about awareness and all the awareness teachings. And I'm if we resonate with flawless, timeless awareness, these aspects of open intelligence or awareness can be made into something unless they are instinctively recognized, right? So there's a tendency to want to go to flawless, timeless, naked awareness and let's get rid of this whole life thing. And it's not about that, right? It's not about like, oh, I want to have the nice, flawless awareness. And
No.
I'm not saying that you're thinking that, but it is something that can happen, that we have ideas about awareness, flawless awareness, intelligence, what it should look like. But really, it's everyday open intelligence. That's how we call the 12 empowerments, everyday open intelligence. Right here, something special, nothing special.
Mhm.
And it's of course special because, wow, this clarity and completeness that is just not there when we go after experiences and data is very special. At the same time, it's always present, just right here, without anything special happening. And that's why you resonated probably with that negative data streams indicate open intelligence's presence, not its absence.
Yeah.
And that's very compelling because then we see, wow, there is like whatever's going on right now is actually indicates open intelligence is right here, present. And even if we feel like down and sad and depressed right now, there's open intelligence. There's open intelligence. That's open intelligence energy, and its presence is right here. Not needing to be or feel differently to recognize open intelligence. So that's powerful. Obviously, we are looking for the aspects of open intelligence or awareness that reveal and open this timelessness, the flawlessness and nakedness aspects that are really present while we are irritated and angry or sad or filled with grief. And that gets more and more obvious in the short moments. Yeah. So,
May I ask one more?
okay, yes.
And, in your introduction, it said open intelligence or short moments become automatic.
Mm.
There was another word with automatic, but I don't remember what it was. So what does that actually mean? In other words, when it's automatic, are you not taking short moments anymore with open intelligence, many times with open intelligence? And how would one know that it's automatic? I mean, by our way we're handling things in our life, because that has become more automatic. In other words, with different things that come up, I don't react the same way. There's a peacefulness.
That's great.
There's something that's calmer. So so if you would address the automatic and short moments many times, that would be great.
I think it's great that you see the results of doing short moments. I wouldn't even it's a perfect question because yes, it becomes more instinctive, automatic, natural, without needing to actually remember short moments. It's just naturally, instinctively present, open intelligence. And still, I say sometimes I love to take short moments. So I don't really think about it if it's, but it's, then if somebody would ask me, I would say, yeah, it's instinctive, it's automatic. It's obvious at all times, and there's no doubt about it. And still, I like to take short moments, so that's not. And it's forever deepened, so there's no way to arrive at some point, even a point of, oh, now I have enough confidence. Although, I don't mind if there will be more or less. So it's well, less. Yeah, there can be times where we feel like doubts, but that even is also important to see that as data. Okay, but back to the, yeah, becomes instinctive, automatic. And what is most important, that's what I wanted to say, is that you see the results. That's most important. Just see, oh, yes, I'm reacting differently to the people around me. I feel more peaceful when they do this and that. Other times I would react. And, responding to circumstances, we can respond and have conversations that are difficult. That doesn't mean like resting means we're not saying anything anymore to each other. Right? That would be like extreme. So, but it's the place from where we speak and solve problems and how we deal with our emotions and our own emotionality or thoughts. Yeah. So there's more and more confidence, and that's the result of short moments. Yeah. So
Thank you.
that's great. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's see how's short moments going for others, or questions as well, of course. Yes, Paul. Mhm.
I'm reading a sentence here from Empowerment 5. In Empowerment 5, we see open intelligence shining forth as all the circumstances of our life. That is totally mind-boggling. Open intelligence is shining forth as ALL, the circumstances of our life. All the thoughts, open intelligence. All the emotions, open intelligence. All the disasters, open intelligence. All the negative, open intelligence. All the joy, open intelligence. It's just something. Wow. On the whole matter of negative data, we're hearing to basically let it pass, notice it, but don't emphasize it, don't get caught up in it, and then get reactionary or emotional or whatever because of a negative stream. But I'm gathering this morning that the idea is to, in the negative, noticing the negative stream, recognize this is also open intelligence. This very painful moment is open intelligence making its appearance, which can be powerful and liberating. But I'm gathering also there's great benefit. There's said to be great benefit from the negative data stream, and my limited understanding would be I would find the great benefit in looking at the negative data stream and going, what could it be pointing to that could be transformed or dealt with in some fashion to get past something that maybe is sticking in life? Do we just let it flow on by? Do we see open intelligence, or do we look at it and address it and find benefit?
Right. Well, it's a perfect question, and it fits really where you, with Empowerment 5, that you really obviously, you recognize Empowerment 4 and 5 was very obvious in your share. It's instinctively recognized that all life is pervaded by open intelligence, now, past, and future. So actually, you're moving to empowerment 6, I assume. It'll answer everything you are asking. 6 and 7 will deepen letting data be as it is. What that means, but instinctively will deepen that in your experience. Now, after having seen all the data of our lives, 6 and 7 will deepen letting everything be as it is, and what that means, meaning, like you said, acknowledging, confirming open intelligence in the moment, taking a short moment. You don't need to even look for benefit right now, because 8 and 9 will take care of that, and 10 and further. So instinctively, that'll become clear that everything you just said will be obvious in an instinctive recognition, in letting data be as it is, and knowing the potency, which will be useful in responding to circumstances, right? But it'll be all instinctive. Maybe we have some thoughts, obviously, but it won't be thinking about it. So you don't need to think about the benefit too much, because it'll become easier just by continuing on. So it's perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
That's what I love about the empowerments. They just like instinctively open up the realization. It's just, I mean, like I'm always myself love it, feeling it, recognizing it really in each other. Yeah. Great. Let's see if there are other questions and shares.
I have a question. I haven't started the empowerments yet. I guess I'm supposed to set up a meeting and do that. But I don't know, I guess I'm having like a block, and I have a lot of social anxiety, like trying to it's hard to even talk right now. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure what to expect from this one-on-one call, or what to expect at all. And I don't know, just wondering if you could like let me know like what's going to happen. How it's just pick a time, and it's just some random person that I talk to, and I don't know. My anxiety is like up there. Thanks.
Thank you so much for speaking, Stephen. It's I'm glad you're sharing. That's very beautiful. And I actually responded to your email yesterday. Maybe that hasn't come through. If you can't find it, just write again, and we'll find a way. I'll be happy to speak with you. And we really just meet also to see, we want to learn more. In this case, I'll be happy to speak with you. And we just want to learn more about you, and basically hear, maybe past experiences of teachings or practices, where you're at, what your experience is. And then depending on where somebody is at, basically, we might have different suggestions or recommendations. We can also share then more about the 12 empowerments and how that works. What's involved, and you're hearing bits and pieces here when people are sharing. But then if we take an hour and just look at everything, I usually also then share a bit about the platform. It basically is a very structured process, you could say, to integrate open intelligence into everyday life. That's why Kati mentioned before, it's called Everyday Open Intelligence. And so it takes us one empowerment at a time. It takes us through, you could say, different steps, to make open intelligence more obvious in every moment of life. And then from that obviousness, everything else basically comes. So we do talk about, like Hati just mentioned, also how we can be in the world and maybe have conversations or make changes in life. But that's only later. In the beginning, it's all about really seeing open intelligence in everything that appears, basically seeing that we are fundamentally open intelligence, and everything that appears within us is open intelligence. So that's what the empowerments help us. And then from that, if I just take this example, from that comes the courage and the stability to act differently. So you might feel shy and still have the courage to say something. Like I always had this, probably many people have that to some extent, right? It's like more like a continuum or a spectrum, but feeling a little shy or not quite knowing what to say, and then feeling all of that and recognizing that it's actually okay. I remember when we met Candace 20 years ago, and she would sometimes have people there to share about our experience of the teaching. And I always was wanting to hide in my chair so that she wouldn't ask me to share, because then, you'd look out and see, like, I don't know, 100 people in that meeting hall, and you're supposed to say something intelligent and inspiring. And it always was like nerve-wracking. But then to actually practice in these moments, even before anything happens, like thinking about, will this happen today? And then already feeling the anxiousness and then recognizing that it's okay. This energy can flow through my system, and there can still be stability and clarity that knows how to be, what to say, how to act. And sometimes that includes not having a clue what to say. And even that is okay. So going through all these different experiences of life, and through the practice, recognizing that open intelligence is always present, and we can always relax naturally in and as that natural state of being. Anyway, I got a bit carried away there.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
So
I'll look for that email and
and then let's find a time. I'd love to have that conversation. Yeah, and share more. Yeah.
I guess my other question might be that I've been practicing the short moments. I was introduced to this more than a year ago. I don't know. And I kind of been practicing. I'm not really sure what I was doing. I was trying to do more formal meditation, but I realized the short moments are like more my style, I think. Anyway, I think I've been resting in awareness, resting in open intelligence, and not as open intelligence. I don't know if there's a difference. Is there a difference, or is that the same?
I mean, what matters most, especially as we become familiar, is our direct experience. So, the words are very specific, and Candace is a wordsmith. She's very specific and precise, and you can, if you consider it, like resting in means that there is me, and then I rest in something else called awareness. Resting as awareness means that I know that I'm awareness, and I experientially rest as that complete perceptual openness in which everything appears. I rest as the space in which everything arises and resolves.
Okay.
But practically, experientially, most important is that we have a moment of actual rest. And then the in and as will become more obvious also, for example, through the empowerments, but also through continued practice, where sometimes it might feel maybe like we're witnessing or observing, and like there are all these different experiences that we go through. And then just continuing to rest will make it more and more, I guess, evident and obvious what the distinctions are. But it's not something to even think about or worry about too much.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else today? Natalie, please.
Yeah. Hi. Hello. Would like to share that these days I'm very much experiencing the body, the feeling, the sensation of the body, and resting as what is felt in the body. And for example, I had a quite strong data streams around one topic, one relationship, and so I was kind of falling into it, so losing contact with, I mean, one never loses contact with open intelligence, but collapsing into it. And I was sitting and I asked myself, well, where does it happen in the body? What is felt in the body? And then I felt some parts of my body, like the shoulders and the solar plexus, quite strong. And so I let the awareness really stick to it or merge into it. And slowly I began to relax. And after a while, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, I was totally relaxed. I mean, I was really appreciating, relaxedness was appreciated. And since then, I mentioned that I don't have these collapsing into these thoughts and data streams. So it's really nice. This morning, I had a very long session at the dentist. And it was a wonderful moment to relax into as open intelligence, even though I know how to use self-hypnosis to soothe and repair and kind of request to my system to have everything healed, but mostly I was calling upon open intelligence or remembering short moments, and it was really, really, really good. So I don't know if you have your own experience with the kind of life of the body, because sometimes we don't even notice that we are tense or that we are in some way. But it is related to data streams and even unconscious, subconscious. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Natalie. It reminds me a little bit, even though it's not directly related, but there is a practice, I think, in Empowerment 12 that speaks a bit more about anger, not so much a physical sensation, but it's quite similar, where we, like the short moments practice in general is just like one short moment at a time, and we let everything flow however it will. But then in Empowerment 12, there is also this practice where we essentially allow, we focus on a particular data stream, and really you could say stay with it while remaining. And that's why it's only in Empowerment 12, because it's a little further advanced, because we wouldn't want to force it, you could say, but remaining open, but also focused, right? And so I've noticed that a lot, actually, with physical tension, which has been something that I have felt a lot in my life. Probably most human animals have. But it's just bringing this like restful awareness, that quality of really resting mind and body specifically, and having that I guess it's also attention, which isn't quite the same as open intelligence, but it's having this attention there with that warmth and openness. I find that very soothing, and you could say almost like healing, these parts that maybe just need some love and care. And yeah, but even in that, I find the short moments, because the mind might be wandering or things might come up, to just very simply allow it to come back to that until, as you said, it just feels like this is complete in a way. So it's a very beautiful experience, I find. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, there. I've always tried to relax, like deliberately or willfully, you could say, and didn't quite know how to do that before the practice. Like it's almost like a contradiction. Like I try to relax, right? It doesn't quite go together. So this is where also this relaxing as awareness or as open intelligence is really maybe a subtle nuance, but becoming then really powerful and obvious, where if we relax as that complete perceptual openness, and then everything relaxes in itself in a way. Like we don't need to make ourselves relax. I don't know if that was your experience, but it can be very effortless and instinctive just through imbuing this experience with the obviousness of open intelligence. And that makes it very, just very soothing, very relaxing. Every time I go to the dentist, it's like I have a long-lasting traumatic with a lower T relationship with dentists, and just thinking about it, and the chair like makes me very uneasy. So it's a continued practice field for myself as well, to just return. This is one of the times when I do definitely go back to short moments. Like I know everything is held in open intelligence, including the fear and terror I have of being in the chair. But it's always a great opportunity to really recognize that I can completely relax, and in a inexplicable way, even relax with moments of pain, and have that make the experience far less intense and not really an experience of suffering. There is pain, but there need not be suffering. So yeah. And Kati, is there anything more about the practice there you wanted to share, maybe?
That's great. That's great. Sounds perfect. Anyone else? Has there anything you would like spontaneously to share before we end? Yes, Amanda.
I found I was listening to something, and it was like a bit of a way to support, like, so I found when I go, I have to take a moment of open intelligence. This person I was listening to, they had like a phrase which was, what would it be like to take a moment of open intelligence? Or what would it be like to take, they were talking about consciousness, or what would it be like? And I found that really supported me, because it's sort of just that phrasing, like, what would it be like now to take a moment of open intelligence, sort of was more, it brought in a different aspect, rather than the right, have to, it jumped over something and made it easier. Just in the asking of what would it be like, I start to do it. So I just wanted to share that it worked for me. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. yeah, even if we sometimes feel like it's difficult to take short moments, and we can put on the timeless awareness talks or the talks, right? That it can be helpful when we try to take short moments with tension, for example, with feeling very unsettled, and then not trying to take short moments can sometimes be helpful. Or just listening to a talk, and there are different aspects that sometimes really help, just to take short moments, and the trying with effort is yeah. But we'll see that there are many times where we try to take short moments, where short moments is easy, short moments is difficult, and then it's like at one point there's just a recognition of open intelligence as everything. And that's why the short moments and its quality becomes not relevant anymore. And so but it's perfect to really see, well, when I lie down in like Shavasana or, when I'm in nature, it's sometimes easier to rest. But for others, it's easier. There are others say it's easier to rest when I have lots of afflictions, because then I have a reminder. Plus, it feels good not to go into all the stories, and then I have an immediate instinctive recognition. So each one has a bit of a different, unique way of practicing. But yeah. Well, that was great. Well, thank you, everyone. It was nice to hear from you and be together. And
Very
we'll meet
nice.
again next week.
Wonderful. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.